Hey, Cailen Ascher here, and I finally finished reading Dream Year. It's a book by Ben Arment, and its subtitle is Make the Leap from a Job You Hate to a Life You Love. And it's basically kind of almost like a workbook for entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs that lays out a month-by-month plan to help you move from your job or whatever you're doing now, your 9 to 5, your work, and start to make that transition to pursue your passion and build it into a meaningful, financially stable business that really enables you to serve others and also serve yourself, so that you have that wonderful sense of fulfillment from your life's work. And I wanted to share just a couple things I have earmarked here, because one of the things I really appreciated about this book is that it's honest. So many of these, live your best life books are all about pumping you up, and that's great. We need the motivation, we need the inspiration. But Ben balances that with some really sage advice from thought leaders out there, and tells you about the hardships that you are going to face on the path to, not to scare you, but to prepare you. Because honestly, as he puts it, the obstacles are there to thin out the competition. If pursuing your dream, if making your passion and your purpose into a business were easy, everybody would do it. Everyone would be out there doing what they're meant to be doing. But people seek out the 9 to 5. They go and they look for jobs. They look to build out their resumes because they want the safety. They want the comfort. This is the challenging path, going for your dream year. That's the hard stuff. And that's why it is hard, because not everyone's meant for it. And it really is a proving ground, a testing ground to see if you're strong enough to carry out this vision. So I want to share with you, like I said, just a couple things I've earmarked. And this is a quote I'd love to read you. It's about your call to action. It says, "You don't go after your dream, it comes after you. Your dream is the culmination of all the experiences, gifts, passions, and opportunities you've ever had in your life. It all amounts to a unique expression that only you are capable of bringing to the world." And if you ever needed a reason to go out there and do what you were meant to do, I think that little passage really sums it up. Something that really struck me was, as Ben describes it, your dream needs a CEO. I think a lot of us go into our businesses and pursue our dreams as if we're an employee. We're kind of waiting to be told what to do. We feel like we have a lot of stuff dumped on us. We're wearing a lot of hats. We're running around. But if instead we view that as being the CEO, and we step into that role of ownership and executive authority and speak to people in that way and make decisions in that way and define our schedule in that way, it puts you in a totally different mind space. Instead of being like, oh my gosh, I'm haphazardly running around, throwing things at the wall, seeing if they stick. You have a vision, you have a purpose, you are the CEO, and you are tasked with bringing this dream into fruition. I think that's a great little mindset shift to start playing with in your own business if you're feeling a little harried and a little frazzled. Another thing he covers is the art of the ask. And this is something I know I didn't used to like to do. I'm getting better at it with a lot of practice. But we don't like asking for things. We feel needy. We feel desperate when we go in and we ask for either money or someone's time or advice. We feel like we're getting in their way. And something that Ben says here is that you have to realize that your dream is also fulfilling someone else's desires. You're giving value to that person. This is a request you can be proud to make. You're not asking them to do what you want. You're asking them to do what they want. You are framing your ask around a dream of their own. And I think we have to remember that, because as purpose-driven entrepreneurs, we're not in this just to make money, just to fulfill our own needs and desires. We're here to fulfill a need that exists out there to help other people. And so anytime you're going in for the ask, if you can keep that in mind, it'll empower you to stay strong and confident in your delivery and really position yourself in a way that feels good about asking, rather than this kind of needy feeling that we can get ourselves into thinking that we're being kind of desperate when we ask for people's advice. All right, 2 last things. Oh, this is what I was mentioning earlier. When you make it past the first few rejections, the field of competitors begins to thin out. So like I was saying earlier, the obstacles are there for a reason. They thin out the competitors. If you want to see your dream become a reality, you have to develop a thick skin. And Ben lays that out clearly in his book. And I appreciate that because you don't always see that kind of honesty in books of this nature. And the last thing I want to leave you with, there's so much good stuff in this book. I could talk about it a lot longer, but I won't. I'll let you go and pursue it on your own if you're interested. But this last thing to remember, I think, is really key. It's the notion that when you ask someone and they don't get back to you, it's not that they're opposed to what you are asking, offering, selling. They might just be busy. So instead of seeing a lack of response as a rejection, as a no, just keep in mind that they might be really busy. Yours is not the only email that's arriving. Yours is not the only voicemail that showed up in their inbox. Yours is not the only request on their plate. And they might not be opposed to what you've got going on. They don't dislike you. They might just be busy. And so let go of that storyline that you might be creating in your mind when you don't hear back from someone that, oh my gosh, they don't like me and they're never going to help me out and I shouldn't have sent that email in the first place. Get out of that place and realize that they're probably just busy and they might need to hear from you again. So be pleasantly persistent, show up again, and you might be surprised what opportunities come your way if you just sit with that mindset of that they're just busy, that you just need to remind them that you had that question or had that need for information or had that request. You might just need to show up one more time and it'll tip the scales in your favor. So those are just a little taste of what's going on in Dream Year. I highly recommend that you pick up a copy. It has some really great takeaways, actionable advice. At the end of every chapter, there's a list of kind of thought-provoking questions and actions that he encourages you to take. So it's really, like I said, it's really a workbook for the aspiring entrepreneur or for the entrepreneur that's already on their path but maybe needs to be fortified in their own confidence in the process and really stick to their guns. So, as always, I appreciate you spending this time with me, and for more inspiring advice, I encourage you to head over to CailenAscher.com to align your purpose and your business. I'll see you there.